friend. Hello. Hello. Oh, goodness, you caught me mid-stretch. How you doing today? You're doing well. Good to see you here in our pre-lobby. I almost forgot to go live today. I've been fussing with my Takanuva build. I really want to figure out how to give it a hip articulation that doesn't look stupid. But I'm doing well. Doing very well. I honestly, at this point, might go cheat and actually just look up another way how to do it. But the problem is like, the one way I want to do it makes him look too tall. And I can't be having that. So I need to go to the drawing board and figure it out. I have an idea how to do it, but the pieces don't mesh in the orientation I want them to make it look right. Because then it creates a gap in the torso, and I don't necessarily want a gap in the torso. But we'll figure it out. I'm doing good. I really am feeling creative, so we're just going to do more writing today. I think you were here the last time we adjusted it, but we did adjust how much credits and stuff you earn for like the games, the heists. Heist, I think we made it so you could bid more in heists. I don't quite remember, but we did tweak some of the other stuff so that you make more. But we are doing more Arcane Chronicles today, so anyways, without much further ado. Hey, Dice. Probably actually stop looking at Twitter. That is crazy that you keep getting 4s. Hello, chum. I'm sorry, I'm not on OBS, so I can't change scenes. Now I can change scenes. Hello. I do have shortcuts set up. I just wanted to make sure that OBS was up and running. But hello, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, chum. But that is crazy, Lime, that you have gotten 4s. Head pets. It's so nice when Lime's the first one here because I don't get bullied by my chat. Great. I love it. I love it so much. I hope you're doing well today, chum. It is good seeing you here again today. I appreciate you being here. So, for those, pets are better than throwing stuff. I do agree. They make me feel nice and fuzzy. So, speaking of feeling nice and fuzzy inside, you might get a kick out of this line, but talked about it yesterday, and it has been decided that if we're still doing this stuff a year out from, like next year during my birthday, we will be a part of the subathon. You have it as a goal where we write the yaoi. It's probably going to be a stretch goal, probably the first one. So I think what we're going to be doing here shortly is we're going to plan for it. I don't know why that didn't restart. We're going to plan for subathon That might be like a stream later on, like maybe this weekend we'll do that. But we're gonna be planning for goals. Yes, it will happen, but it's not gonna be like one of the first goals. It's probably gonna be like the first stretch goal. The hope is, the idea is that if we do get the subathon going, I want it to go back into like updating stuff for the stream. So depending on how we're looking from there on out, the idea would be, I want it to go towards streaming stuff because, like, again, I don't want you guys to sub. I don't want you guys to, yes, the yaoi will be a goal. Don't worry. But I want to have it where it's like what you guys put in for subs goes directly back into streaming stuff. So I think I'll talk about it more with my mods because they're gonna be as much involved as I will be, hopefully, at that point. So if it does happen, what I'm thinking I'll do is, depending on how things go, we'll talk shop about it. But if there are any ideas you guys have for like funny stuff to do besides the yaoi, because that's already going to be one of the goals, what is it, chum? What you got for me? There's like 3 things I can guess for what. I don't know what either of them are going to be for this. What is it, chum? What you got? You're actually being responsible today? I thought you were responsible every day. You don't know that? I mean, you're right. I really don't. I'm just assuming. Speaking of assuming, I need to make sure I'm going to use this page break, right? So I do in line below and above. All right. We need a girl name. I have a name picked out, but I don't know if I want to do Renee because it sounds too close to Reagan. Did we name her in the other document? Hold on. Hold on, I need to find something. All right, see you in your moment. Oh, you meet your one true love tonight. Good luck. I hope they're everything you need it to be. Trying to think of... Oh, you're getting a computer? Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay, so, we don't have a... The joke is that it's not... I have a computer. Oh, I missed the joke. Alright, so we never actually named the person that we're gonna have, Chum, did you have a name? Okay. I'm gonna be honest, when you said I have a name, I was like, I mean, I would like to know your name, but Florina. Okay, that could work. To name the character Chlorina. So, in case you don't know, the character we're naming is this character right here. This is the character we're going to be naming. Basically, Reagan learns he can actually change people into vampires. But Arena Azatara. Okay. Is there like, can you explain where you pulled that name from for me? Like, is it inspired by a character you know, like a mashup of characters? Because for some of the stuff I want to do for her, so she gets, so this girl is the one that gets turned into a vampire. Ah, okay. Basically used your brain. I basically use my brain all the time. But we need to give, so this character is kind of meant to be a nobody, but I want her to have like a connection to the Night of a Thousand Stars. So someone close to her was who perished a year ago. And so she's going to like the vigil for that. And on her way to the vigil is when Reagan and Dakota have their brief little scuffle, and she ends up getting grabbed up by Reagan. Azatara? I mean, Azatara works. I do like Azatara. No! Not the pupper! No! I don't know why my eyes are closed. My model is not tracking me too well today. Might have to recalibrate. Yeah, Azatara could work, but do we want it? Because then she could have like the nickname Ozzy, you know? But the idea is she's one of the victims. Oh, her sibling, lover, whoever, we have to decide on that. Yeah, we're basically making this character up right now. What we're gonna do and have Azza. Yeah, I think the nickname's great. Why did everything freak out? You retrieved her forgiveness. She seemed to forget, but aw, she's a good pupper. Zatara. Alright, so as Zatara is going to be her first name, we need to get a last name for her. Azatara. I guess the question, Candor? Well, let's make her up first. Like her. I'm sorry that didn't send through one. Did you mute the server? Because if you've muted the server, obviously you won't hear a notification for it. Dude, that's so weird that it didn't like say anything. But thank you for the 3-stream streak, Kasuna. We are designing the victim that becomes the first like full-blown vampire from Reagan. Livingstone. Doesn't pop up as a red pin. Gotcha. It's weird. I figured I'd at least say something. Oh, is it because you're on Do Not Disturb? You're on busy on Discord, aren't you? That's why. It's your fault. I'm on idle. Oh, still your fault. All right, so we got Livingstone. Let's design her first. Okay, so what mix of races should she be? I'm liking the idea of half drow, you know, like a half elf, half dark elf. Oh, I do like that, but like we're still wanting to like incorporate a fantasy race with it too. So yes, sorry, me and my ignorance is like, yeah, race, like fantasy race. Yeah, drow high wood elf. See, I want to be careful having too many elves, but I do like the idea of half. Because I don't know if we could. Well, that would be like class. Because like the idea is she's just a normal girl that got wrapped up in all this. So like she's just a civilian that's wrong place, wrong time. Half goblin, half wood, like a wood elf. That could be fun. What about, I like elf because elf simp, of course. Half elf. Like drumming my fingers on my keyboard trying to think of it. So I do like half elf. And let me do a quick search here before I do something accidentally racist. Accidentally racist, the best kind of thing. Cyborg drow? Well, she wouldn't become... Hold on, before we get too crazy with just like spamming out... Okay, so okay, I wasn't about to be accidentally racist. We're good here. Okay, so, what I'm thinking... Let me make sure I actually spell this right, so I'm not like... Because I do like the idea of having an island, like, somebody that's from, like, what would be... I want to have her heritage traced back to the previous world. Like, I want her to have, like, history in that sense of, like... Her family roots trace back to the old continent that was wiped out in the war. So with Polynesian, that's like, you know, they're tan, they have a lot of rich culture and history. I'm trying to say this without sounding like I'm like trying to like DEI slop or whatever people would call it. I know it's not like the right terminology, but I like half elf, so half dark elf. Half. Oh, what invokes? Well, I mean, it's because, like, here's the thing, right? Is in this world, it's not Earth, so it's not like you have American or you have Asian or you have Viking, Norse. You don't have like races we have here. But I do like the idea of her having heritage that is to a very specific area. So a way we can emulate that is by having it be like the fantasy race. How did we spell it in here? Do a find. What was is it GRO? Groups. Gordadine. This is the last month, the final assault of the Gordadine. Okay, that's what we're looking for right here. So what we're gonna do, copy that, close this, back down to the bottom of the document, slide this over just a little bit. So,
I can feel the power of fire!
Thanks for the resub._mint. Going on 5 months.
oh
Cheers.
my word, thank you for the 5-month streak, Dot. I appreciate that so much. You were playing Roblox last, still. The power of Yowie. Um, let's go gambling. So here's one thing: long lost race of ocean faring. I spelled faring wrong. Faring. Oh, fish. There we go. So she's going to be half dark elf, half Gordadine, which is a long lost race of ocean-faring elvish like people. Oh, never change that. You say that. Ow. And the Chupa Chups? I would have no idea. But that does, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, that would totally be Salvador. Ollie. Alright, so we got Azatera, Livingstone. So we can still kind of lean into okay, so hey, remember how I was geeking out about like John Mayer did the music in Halo and it was uncredited? This is what I was talking about here in Epilogue. This guitar work. He did this. Sorry, my brain like completely just like decided to remember that, but I heard the guitar. I'm like, yeah, that was this is John Mayer. This is what he did. Let's think back to Azatera. So maybe we consult the accursed fantasy name. We got to be very, very careful with how we want to do this. Folklore. We want Yogamonder names. That's is there not? It would be interesting to have a pixie character, but I have no idea how I'm gonna like code that. By code that I mean like actually like put it in. Let's see. That is not how I was thinking it was. Okay. I thought there was like a. Let's see here. Chivalric order. Okay, here we go. This is where we probably need to go. Real name. We want to do. I don't know how to feel about most of these names we make. I wonder why all these names are African-like. Well, it's because it's on the subcore category Africa. Like no. I don't have a category, just like Americas. Is that one? Zatara. Zatara. Oh, I got another way we can do this. said Livingstone. Let's do a Google Translate here. Well, that seems cheap. That didn't work at all. All right. How do we feel about Livingstone? Oh, I come back. I'm an angel. Sorry. When I go to check the browser for like consulting data, I do biblically accurate. SavageED isn't real. He couldn't. So, do we like Livingstone as her last name? I feel like I think that works for her last name. Okay. She's half dark elf, half Gordadane, which is basically just ocean-faring elvish-like people. Not to be fully dark elf. Okay, how old do we want her to be? I'm thinking early 30s, but that's just because I have bias to that age. Does 5'7" seem too tall or too short for elf? I think we can come back to that. All right, before I start doing something that may get somebody rubbed the wrong way, change up this to tone. I want to make sure I'm not going to like write something that is sort of fishing for. You know how like chud culture would be like, oh, it's woke to have a moderately physically fit girl. You know what I mean? But I also don't want it to where it's like people are going to sit there and think I'm like looking too deep by having this girl who I do too, but that's kind of I'm wanting to avoid a character made and then perceived to be a Mary Sue because she ends up being the first vampire from Reagan. Right? So I don't want it to be like, oh, this woke liberal garbage character. I want it to be like felt intrinsically that like I don't want it to where it's like somebody can translate it to be like me trying to pander to one side or the other. I just want this to be like she is just an average girl who is at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then she became a vampire. And because she hated the fact that she became a vampire to the person that stole her loved one or whatever, she now wants to kill him. So I want to put that to paper in a way where it doesn't get perceived as, you know, you can't see it, but I'm doing the quotation marks, woke. It's like, oh, having a woman suddenly become a badass? Like, that's impossible. It's like, well, no, she was kind of fit before. Okay, I think I got it. I got it. I got it. I think I got it. I'll ask when ads are over because again, I'm not very. I'm often tone deaf if you haven't noticed. Pick level. Moderately fit her work before becoming a vampire. Let her have a lifestyle. She worked in the medical guild. Yeah. Let's see. What you do? Is an immediate medical response member. All right, ads are over. So, is this with what I'm trying to aim for here is I want it to be reasonable that one, she's already somebody that knows how to like stay physically fit and all that because of her work and the immediate medical response member. She worked in the medical guild as an immediate response member. How do we think about this? So we got Azatara Livingstone. She's a half dark elf, half Gordadine, which is basically just a long lost race of ocean fearing elvish like people, notable due to the most of them not surviving the first cataclysmic war. Thought to be fully dark elf. She's 32 years old. She's 5'7". She's honed athletic, like an Olympic level athlete, due to changes in training once she joins the Postman. Prior to this, she was an average build, moderately fit. Her work before becoming a vampire led to her having an active lifestyle. She worked in the medical guild as an immediate medical response member during the Night of 1,000 Stars, where her blank died in her care. Her blank died in her care. All right. Do we like this idea so far? Because, like, she's not going to be an insanely important character, but she's the linchpin for helping ground things back into reality of the story that there are people that are affected by these things, right? And then she's also, and it's going to be one of those things where Dakota ends up seeing Emily and her a lot. It's probably by book 2 she'll have a bigger role, because the whole purebred situation. We're doing that in book 2, or if we're saving that for book 3. But I think it's important to have her kind of like established somewhat early on before we start using her as a main character. So who should die in her care during that night? Mother makes sense, but I feel like that's an easy one. I feel like that's almost too easy to do. Do we want to do Lover? Like her loved one died in her arms, which would lead to her being scorned at Reagan for killing her lover. But that also feels too cliche and almost too tropey for what we're doing. I mean, we can always leave it blank and move on, I get that, but a lot of this is kind of dependent on if we establish her now as a character, so that when we go to do more with her in the story, we have motivations that tie back to who she is as a character without kind of making things up as we go along. That makes sense? So if we do, let's see here, we do something to the extent of, would be a good, could do father. Father's dying is, I think, very impactful. The diner care. She learns those organs who essentially killed him. Because when he takes her hostage, that's what's awesome about failing again. So this is what I'm thinking. Body type, flat toned. Worked in the medical guild as an immediate. Body type that. Water magic. Maybe. Problem is too is I don't want to end up just like inadvertently stealing from Bolt. As much her body as a source of comfort. Having a monster against her will. Despite the best efforts of Dakota and the Medical Guild, what he takes her to, she still becomes better. Yet, person still. I spelled individuality wrong. Individ. Still, with this individuality, she hears herself. So. My shaker, followed, cured from the affliction of vampire. So, congratulations on the heist line. All right, let's see here. Before we start, you have 3 mil now. It's freaking nuts. Congratulations on being our first 3 millionaire. I wonder if the game can even like register over a certain amount, you know? She knows some vampiric spells, but not to the level of the Bloodsmith. Being a vampire learned her being a vampire. The Golem Hellsteel is as much her bodyguard as it is a source of comfort for her. It's a comfort from being against her will. Really great to remind me of. Despite the best efforts of Dakota and the Medical Guild he takes her to, she still becomes, albeit her own person still. With this individuality, she volunteers herself, body, and mind to be used to help stop the Bloodsmith. That is awesome that you got 3 mil though. Very, very well done. I am proud of you. How are we feeling about Asa as a character? We should probably like hair color. Dark elves tend to have lighter hair colors, so we could do was no search. Because the dark elves still tend to have like dark hair to white hair. So maybe we can have her have we could have it be just just white. Okay. So hair was white, skin color darker tan. Okay. So for Asa here, she is a half elf, half Gordadine, which is just basically oceanic elves. She is 32 years old, or she's 5'7". Hair color was just white, but gained a dark red streak through it from her becoming a vampire. Eyes were purple, but changed to red due to vampirism. Ooh, actually, rune. Darker skin color originally. Darker tan gray. They're slightly more pale due to vampirism and compassion. Her body type, tone athletic. Level athlete due to changes in training once she joins the post. Prior to this, she was an average build, moderately fit. Her work before becoming a vampire led to her having an active lifestyle. She knows some vampiric spells, but nothing to the level of the Bloodsmith. Due to him being a vampire lord, her being a regular. Bernadine, long race of all shades, for 4. There was dark elf. There was half of his race thought to be fully dark elf due to how similar races. Dark elf. There we go. Oh, none of us won? Darn. I take the blame on that. Okay. So how do we feel about Ozza as a character? Azatara Livingstone. Like her? I do too. Thank you, Big Chumbusis, for the name and the inspiration for making her part of the Gorodine. Gordadine, which is just ocean elves. But they blend in with dark elves really easily. So there we go. We now have the character that gets introduced with some backstory and lore for her, and the reason why blood magic takes a purplish red coloration. I'll just say maroon. I think she's a good fit. I think she works. I dig this. I dig this a lot. Besides, we need a waifu that's not inspired by somebody I know in real life. Plus, it also makes sense too because like we can still then also have, if we decide to actually kill Reagan, we can still have the vampire werewolf team. I like that. All right, now we're done with that. Actually, go ahead and start writing out her. They had been simple enough for Miss Stone. By the way, Mount, I have been talking about my... Has it actually? Whoa, yowie upon thee! What was the acronym I used for this? Response member. IMRM. IMI. Oh, I can't. Immediate medical response. North. Northern. Kind of guy who made 4. A what? Oh, Yottabyte. I'm like, that's insane. Isn't a Yottabyte like incomprehensibly large? As a joke. As a joke. Leave. The Dark Elf worked to the Medical Guild still as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District. I should do it, so I need to have them. So I can actually have them be like, hey, what do you think about this character? Ow!
The game already!
Hello, Romulus. Welcome in, friend. It is good to see you here. Hope you are doing well. Glad you can make it. We just went through and made a new character. Well, new character isn't actually defined the character, but hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. The day had been a simple... The balls! The balls! We fetch. Romulus, it's not how you do it. I think another right hand could work. Anything. What's this? Chat, give me a second. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, terribly sorry about that. My neighbor, I guess, is moving in downstairs. I was hearing people talk outside my door. I'm like, what the heck? No, it was just my neighbor's moving in downstairs below me. I need to make a really good first impression on her. On him. No. I think it was a peaceful day. Alright, let me get back to the writing tab here. So, a yottabyte is all the internet traffic data since the internet was invented? That's absurd. Also, congratulations to Lime for winning the heist. GG to Re. Oh, goodness. Terribly sorry, I should have had more caffeine. It had begun simply enough for Mrs. Livingston. Nothing out of the ordinary happened at work or on her way there. If anything, it was a peaceful day. Oh. One year. They had begun simply enough, just living so nothing ordinary, had occurred at work or on her way there. If anything, it was a peaceful, easy day. Only after work after her shift, I didn't like that idea. Shift. She was reminded of what's near anniversary of the night with that. Ah. Okay, look, so if you're gonna throw a chair at me, it's not nice of you to then also just give me head pats afterwards. Why not just give me head pats? Glad you guys are enjoying the TITS, the Twitch integrated throwing system. It is a really fun thing. I do need to mess with it more. I need to I need to also like actually put up another tennis ball for auction, so you guys have something to play for. That can be discussed once the Yowie is written. The ball throwings will continue until the Yowie is complete. Oh, goodness. It was 1 year anniversary of the night with 1,000 sharks. The Dark Elf worked in the medical guilds, still as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District. Okay. I actually got to double check something. That'd be what, forward chapter? Oh, how bad, man. Okay, so he does name drop it's a vampire lord. She never could forget the night. The night her father was lying out in her arms. Never forget my brightest star. Always guided home. Damn. Dark Elf worked in the medical guilds as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District Hospital of New Albany. Opposite from where? I feel like we need to do a period. Opposite from where she worked a year ago. Those. Alright. Need to remove that. Alright, I might need to rework how I have this paragraph, because I don't want it to be like she forgot, because it's like, how do you forget your father passing? They've begun simply enough for Mrs. Livingston. Actually, let's just do her full name. Tara Livingston. Nothing out of the ordinary occurred at work on her way there. If anything, it was a peaceful and easy day. Despite what happened despite what happened only a year ago. Despite, I know we need to change this. Maybe again, simply enough for. Let's cut this out. Like every other day. She went to work every other day, like she had. And for the last 7 months since her transfer to this hospital. I spelled patience wrong. Maybe I can squeeze in another heist. Oh, I just missed it. Just missed it. Oh well. Good win, lads. The day began simply enough for Azatara Livingstone. She went to work like every other day she had for the last 7 months since her trip to the hospital. Only thing, steps. Dampening her steps, darkening. Steps home. It was 1 year since everything changed. 1 year, it was 1 year since everything in her life changed for the worse. She did best to keep her chin held high and keep her focus from darkness onto the patient she cured. It's an anniversary. Good pace it back. Alright, Dot, we'll see you in a bit, buddy. Despite that, nothing other than worry at work. There. If anything, it was a peaceful and easy day. Despite what happened only a year ago, it seemed most of the world had. No one seemed to really have any issues with the day this was. They were probably not affected. She was. Few medical emergencies. Lurk emote. I need to make a list of emotes that we want. Damn. I'm actually kind of getting a little like, such a tragic character. All right, let's see here. Day had only begun simply enough. The day had begun simply enough for Azatara Livingston. She went to work like every other day she had for the last 7 months. Nothing different for the Dark Elf since her transfer to this hospital. The only thing darkening her steps home was it was 1 year since everything in her life changed for the worse. She did her best to keep her chin held high, keep her focus from that darkness and onto the patients she cared for. It was a 1-year anniversary of the night of. Despite that, nothing too out of the ordinary had occurred at work. If anything, it was a peaceful and easy day. Despite what had happened only a year ago, it seemed like most of the world had moved on. No one seemed to really have any issue with what this day was. They probably didn't lose anyone on that accursed night. She did. The lack of her having to go out on retrievals, it meant that she got to relax and enjoy a day of helping nurses and doctors in the hospital. It was something that hadn't happened. The Dark Elf worked in the medical guilds as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District Hospital of New Albany. From the Southern District Hospital she worked a year ago. Away from. The Dark Elf worked in the medical guilds as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District Hospital of New Albany, away from the Southern District Hospital where she worked a year ago. She was skilled in the ways attending to people with her mother often joked that she was a life giver. Azatara's mind began to flood with dread as she never forget the night her father was lying out in her arms, bleeding out, dying from wounds he sustained from the vampire lord that had attacked the city. His final words still seeping in her mind as she struggled to hold back the tears in her eyes. Never forget, my brightest star. Always guided me. let's see here. Forget my brightest star. You've always got me. Zatara would do her best to keep herself from dwelling on memory. Nope. We're distracted and she won't. There's a dark elf marched. We should do walks. Traveled. She thought of what she should get to place on her bucket. What fish would I be? I don't know. I don't really like fish. Alright, we don't even. I don't know what I'd be as a fish. Probably something cool, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a fish that people eat, that's for sure. You'd be a piranha. That makes sense. As a goblin, that makes sense. But like, what would I be? A freaking bluegill? A fish? A bass? A largemouth bass? I don't know. Barracuda? A sunfish? I don't know. I'd be just a fish. Like, I don't know, lime. I wonder how many people are gonna like. Do you ever write something and sit there and wonder if at some point, somewhere, somebody's gonna read it and be like, damn, I want that as a tattoo. So I'm feeling that hardcore with that line right there. Never forget my brightest star. You've always guided me home. Like imagine that's your dad or mother in your arms saying that as they're dying and you're trying to save them. God, that hurts. It hurts. It hurts good. I'd get that too. Yeah. I think it's a really, really sweet line. Like a really like right in the feels, right in the meows, you know? Never forget my brightest star. You've always guided me home. As Zatara would do her best to keep herself from dwelling on the memory and hope for distraction. As Dark Elf traveled, she thought of she should get to place on her father's grave. Passing. The old man always did like sailboats, she thought to herself, so she turned down the street to go to the store. Toy store. To the one he'd take her as a child to buy model boats at release into the river. Where people used to sail across the oceans in boats like this. Tell her. Say. Telling her stories and legends of the people from the forgotten times. Welcome back, chum. So, all right. What you need to do is get like some juice or something sweet, right? In like a cup, and take like Saran wrap. Thank you for the hydrate that. Oh no! I bumped my freaking sound thing like 3 times there. I'm so sorry. Take a cup, put a little bit of juice in it, take some Saran wrap, and like poke a couple holes in it, and then take that Saran wrap, wrap the top of the cup with it, and then make it so that the fly flies in there. And then once it's in there, it won't be able to get out because the fly is too stupid to get out from the Saran wrap. And then you profit. And by profit, I mean you kill that fucking fly. But yeah, so, Chum, now that you're back, though, do you want to hear what I've gotten written down as a story so far for the part with Azatera and then also her character? Okay, cool. So, character-wise, back to the character document here. I've closed this. So, Azatera, Aza Livingstone. She is a half dark elf, half Gordadine. That is true. You can disorient it by doing that. A Gordadine, long-lost race of ocean-faring elvish-like people, notable due to most of them not surviving the first cataclysmic war. Mother was Dark Elf, father was a Gordadine, presumed the last of his race. Thought to be fully Dark Elf due to how similar the races looked at first glance. Age 32 years old. She's 5'7". Hair color was white, was just white, but gained a dark streak of red through it from becoming a vampire. Eye color was purple, but changed to maroon due to vampirism. Her skin color was originally a darker tan gray. Grew slightly more palish due to vampirism, think ashen in color. And then her body type is toned athletic, think Olympic level athlete, due to changes in training once she joins the Postman. When she joins the Postman. Prior to this, she was an average build, moderately fit, with her work before becoming a vampire led to her having an active lifestyle. She knows some vampiric spells, but nothing on the level of the Bloodsmith due to him being a vampire lord and her being a regular vampire. Turns out later in the story, being half a Gordadine. She gets some fun boosts to her magical gifts. The Golem, Hellsteel, is as much her bodyguard as much as it is her source of comfort from becoming a monster against her will. He's really great at reminding me of my humanity. Despite the best efforts. And we go into an ad. But we'll wait for the ad to play, and then I'll just go continue writing more. Oh, we're back from ads? Okay, cool. Let's get back to... So, despite the best efforts of Dakota and the Medical Guild he takes her to, she still becomes a vampire. Albeit her own person still, with this individuality, she volunteers herself, body and mind, to be used to help to stop the Bloodsmith. Whatever it takes. I couldn't save my dad from the Bloodsmith, but I can save others from him. Through her, the Medical Guild learns how to cure Reagan's vampires. Cure the vampires. Reagan's. I should probably... Makes. Her blood magic takes a maroon coloration. Because of this, the Postman Guild takes her in, and by order of the judges, they augment her and help train her to use her new gifts. She worked in the Medical Guild as an immediate medical response member during the Night of 1,000 Stars, where her father died in her care. She learns that it was Reagan who essentially killed him, because when he takes her hostage after the fall, the Bloodsmith taunts Dakota about failing it before going to make her into a vampire, leaving Dakota to choose between saving her or capturing him. So, what we've written now, though, so far, the day had begun simply enough for Azatera Livingstone. Chick tracks I can't say I have. I thought that was like going to be like a ice cream type, or it was like sunflower seeds or something inside ice cream. That might be pretty good. The day had begun simply enough for Azatera Livingstone. She went to work like every other day, like she had for the last 7 months. Nothing different for the Dark Elf since her transfer to this hospital. The only thing darkening her steps home was that it was 1 year since everything in her life changed for the worse. She did her best to keep her chin held high and her focus and she did her best to keep her chin held high and her focus. We don't need this keep here. And her focus from the darkness, not to the patients she cared for. It was the 1 year anniversary of the Night of 1,000 Stars. The comics that were always stuck in bathrooms in your local Taco Bell. Oh, no, I actually have not seen those. But that makes sense. That they would have fear-mongering stories. It was the 1 year anniversary of the Night of 1,000 Stars. Despite that, nothing out of the ordinary had occurred to work, or on her way there. If anything, it was a peaceful and easy day. Despite what had happened only a year ago, it seemed like most of the world had moved on. No one seemed to really have any issues with what day this was. They probably didn't lose anyone on the cursed night like she did. With the lack of having to go out on retrievals, it meant she got to relax and enjoy a day of helping nurses and doctors in the hospitals. That was something that hadn't happened. The Dark Elf worked in the medical guilds as an immediate medical response member of the Northern District Hospital in New Albany, away from the Southern District Hospital where she worked a year ago. She was skilled in the ways of tending to people with. Her mother often joked that she was a life giver. Azatira's mind began to flood with dread as she could never forget that night. The night her father was lying out in her arms, bleeding out, dying from wounds he sustained from the vampire lord that attacked the city. His final words still seeping in her mind as she struggled to hold back the tears in her eyes. Never forget, my brightest star, you've always guided me home. Azatira would do her best to keep herself from dwelling on the memory and hope for a distraction. As the Dark Elf traveled, she thought of what she should get to place on her father's grave in memory and honor for his passing. The old man always did like sailboats, she thought to herself as she turned down the street to go to the toy store, to the one he'd take her to as a child to buy model boats that they'd release into the river. Our people all used to sail across the ocean in boats like this, he'd say to her, telling her stories and legends of their people from the forgotten times. It was getting harder to hold back the tears as she checked out with the small wooden sailboat. The small wooden craft was nearly identical to many they released onto the rough waters from the wake of freighter boats coming in from the ocean. You'll love this. As it packed the boat into the bag, Oh, we have a woman who puts rows of tick tracks. Gotcha. Well, that can be kind of annoying, right? Because if they're fear-mongering stories, I mean, you don't necessarily want them in your Taco Bell, right? Like, I'm not crazy for saying that, am I? I would assume you wouldn't want those there. Same with being given fake money. Like, oh no, she's one of those people. Oh, I gotta love those people. People begin shouting and clamoring as Azza pushed her way through the crowd. Zatara. I feel like we should call her Azatara still. Not her specifically. I had a guy do that to me. Did they like try to pay with that money? It's crazy if they did. That's like forgotten. That's like not forgotten. That's illegal tenor. Oh, okay. So he did pay regularly still. Okay, got it. It's still annoying. Look, I really don't like people that push their beliefs onto others. It's something that bothers me. And it's like not technically that big of a deal. Because like, you know, it's just part of what life is, but it's just something that always still just seems to rub me the wrong way. No matter how like I try to deal with it or cope with it or whatever, I still always find it just bothersome that people are like that. No winnings. No, the heist failed. As Zatara worked her way through the crowd. Oh, my God. I want someone to give me free stuff instead, like books and games. I feel that. It'd be a lot more enjoyable to have that. Together, proud. We got a heist going on. No, free stuff is always great. Let's see here. As Atera continued to work her way through the crowd, pushing and nudging people aside gently, she called out, Immer! 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 I am RM. Please, give me space. Let me through. People started to move aside as she finally made it to the apex. Like, anyone else here? I am IR. She called out. She called out to the people. To the people. They began to back up as other people with medical experience stepped forward to help her out. Lurk. Alright, thank you for the lurk, Romulus. You have a good evening. They began to pack up as other people with medical experience stepped forward. I'm playing sad music. As they began to back up, other people with medical experience stepped forward to help her out. As a few people rushed to her aid. The comic I once saw was a girl like, parents about that sucks. Doesn't matter and is super. Wow. Seems very, very helpful. As a few people rushed to her aid, they began to take off their accessories and fish through their bags for medical supplies. Even though they may all be off the clock, it was standard protocol for immediate medical response members to put some medical gear on them to help. Proper help could assist until. Was there any active threats or other postmen in the area? One of the gathered people asked. Is it really man? Big. Working. Oh, I didn't win. That's junk. You're in danger, please, he begged. time is it? It is 7 o'clock. All right, gamers, I do need to get going. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it there. What his eyes widened in terror as he saw that crimson vapor seep around Tara. Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you alone. Police and medical on the way out. Tara called out. Although to go before suddenly everything seemed to get harder to focus for her. Was sapping her strength. And with that, there we go. That's where we're going to leave it for now. So I do like his words were cut off as a sudden gust of wind came from him. Dakota was on his way down rapidly with Starfell brandished, a blade aimed at Reagan as he called out to civilians to run. Aimed at Reagan. Get away! It's not safe. His voice thundered loudly as he quickly descended to motion the people back. Dakota cursed. Should be help in the area. Why was no one here? You're in danger, please, he begged, motioning for people to get away as he made his call out to the postman. Subtlety was no longer an option as he barked into his comm unit for backup. Cataclysmic target sighted. Agent Dakota requesting all available units from my location. Stat! The werewolf cursed as he kept the blade in one hand as he continued to motion for people to escape. We have police and medical on the way, Azatera called out to Dakota before suddenly everything seemed to get harder to focus on for her. Something was sapping her strength, and everything was beginning to take on a dark red hue. She had been the closest to Reagan. Dakota's eyes widened in terror as he saw that crimson vapor seep around Azatera. Dun, dun, dun! All right. With that, though, we're going to go ahead and call it there for tonight. I do appreciate you guys being here, as always. Your time spent with me is time that I enjoy sincerely. I want to thank you guys also for helping me brainstorm up Azatera. I think people are going to really like her character as we get to develop her more. But for now, that is all we got for tonight. Your boy is in need of sustenance, so I'm going to go take care of that. But I want to thank you guys for being here. Tomorrow, we're probably not going to go live. The appointment I usually have on Mondays got moved to tomorrow. So if we do go live, it's not going to be for long if we do at all. But as always, I really do appreciate you guys being here. We'll be live again on Thursday. You stupid ad. We'll be live again on Thursday. I really do appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys also being a sounding board for me writing the story. Don't worry, we're not going to be writing every day this week. I think Thursday the Halo Campaign Evolved drops, so we'll probably be playing through the Operation Meteorite part of the game. Does release, and then Friday we may do more writing. We'll see though. I don't have to work Saturday, so expect a fun stream then. But for now, as always, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna go. You all have a good night. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you guys when we stream next. Take care, everybody. Bye. 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 Bye.